Well, I would like to open this video up by saying that I am pissed, but I'm not. Hi, my name is Flossie. This is the Grape Jelly Library, where we love to talk about books. I am so glad you could join me. I always look forward to your visit. Okay, I have to stop myself from laughing because funny, not funny, but it's funny. So, the book that I just finished reading is If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nowlin. Now, I don't know, it's kind of like foggy in this room, my apologies, but I don't know if you could see it over in this dark little recess over here. But anyways, it's not a recess. Why did I say that? It's whatever. It is whatever. Okay, so I'll put it over here because the window is there and maybe it'll be a little bit brighter. Now, to my knowledge, there are two covers, two editions to this book. Same story, two different covers. And I had no intention on reading this book, none whatsoever. But the closer that Valentine's Day came, the more this book was on my mind. I have seen this book a million times and it was never going to go home with me. Never say never. The closer that Valentine's Day got, the more I wanted to read this book. Because look at how cute this cover is. My two favorite colors together are red and white. I think it's dynamite. And I also like red and blue together. That's another dynamite combination. So obviously this cover has my attention. Oh, look it. Look it. Are you kidding me? And then we have the beautiful red satin bookmark. Don't we love when our books give us a free bookmark? I do. Because I have a million bookmarks, but do I always have them on hand? No. And I am aesthetic. I like to match my bookmark to my book. Do you like to do that? Comment below if you are like me and you like that bookmark to match your book. But anyways, I do appreciate, them giving us one. So, anyways, I'm reading this story and now the cover is appearing to be revealing. It's not just a bunch of cutesy wootsy images on a book to try and sell the book. No, the images on the book actually pertain to the story. So that's pretty cool. So says I. Now, this is the inside. Look at it. It's adorable. Adorable. What does the back look like? Very much like the front. Okay, so now, let me tell you about this story. All right, we have Phineas and Autumn, and they live next door to each other. And they grow up as best friends. Boy, girl, grow up as best friends. And coincidentally, the moms are best friends as well. So right there, they consider themselves family, close-knit. Autumn even calls Finney's mom aunt, even though it's not really her aunt. Okay, so mostly the book is based in high school. And you get your little cliques going there and find your settlement. Where do I fit in? Who do I feel most comfortable with? Who's agitating me? And like I'll just say a cheerleader. If Autumn wanted to be a cheerleader and then she decided she didn't like the cheerleaders and she no longer wanted to be that, so then she rebelled and she found herself another clique of people. And I guess these weren't exactly labeled the weirdos, but she did like to refer to herself as a weirdo a lot throughout this book. Don't do that, kiddies at home. Don't call yourself names, because your mind will believe what you tell it. Anyways, so all through, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, and then somewhat beyond. So, you know what? I saw on another social media feed, it was just a little photo, somebody saying, oh my goodness, just finished this in one sitting. Well, that told me it probably is pretty good. I don't know this person, and I don't belong to any kind of a group for me to, believe what this person was saying is true about this book. But, I mean, I'm pretty impressed if somebody can give a book a go in one sitting. That is not me. I don't believe, well, I have, but not really. I have given just a handful of books a reading thoroughly, front to back in one sitting, but typically that's not me. But I started this book excited because it's so beautiful. It really is. And you know what? I'm not a romance reader, but I am a romance reader. So I don't ever want to just limit myself to the romances. And I don't generally gravitate towards them. But I am, I do like variety, and I do like to keep things interesting. So I'm gonna grab a romance book every now and again. And with Valentine's Day coming, perfect time to get one in. So I just came out of this one, Valhalla Boys by Brennan Morton. And obviously this one is gonna be a little bit, deep, and what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say, it makes us more aware of our world and, what goes on in it, and what the boys have to do to keep us safe, and what they sacrifice and give up and all that stuff. So that's not going to be a pretty book. So I thought, let me get something, cutesy wootsy. Well, this is not cutesy wootsy. This is not that book. More of this book that I started reading, the more, I'm going to say it, I disliked the main character, Autumn. Some of you out there who love this book, just hear where I'm coming from. She is, in my opinion, whiny. She is narcissistic. She is hypocritical. She is rude, self-centered, arrogant, disrespectful. If you read between the lines. So, if somebody is all of those things, how do they even have friends? I don't know. Let alone get this boy to, or two, a boy or two, to fall in love with you. But she did. Page 95. I knew how this was going to end. Yeah, and some of you have figured it out way before then. But, I was giving myself the benefit of the doubt, saying don't be hasty and jump to conclusions. But by 95, I was pretty certain I knew how this book was going to end. Now, I will say I was accurate, but it threw me for a loop. So I'm going to say that. In my growing dislike for Autumn, I knew I was going to shut this book and just say she's a creep. There is no other word. She's a creep. But you know what? In the chain of events that occurred, this cold heart of mine had a melting moment, and I began to see things through a different view. I looked in another direction, and I was able to see some light. So I have to say, I don't know where this book leaves me. I don't know what kind of rating. I don't want to give it a 3 because it was better than a 3. I'm not a romance reader, but it kept me reading. And you know what? There were times in the book where I was like, oh, come on already, or just like, oh, all right, be quiet already. Because it is Autumn who was telling the story, and I had to remind myself this is her version of it. Now, if Phineas was telling the story, or Autumn's boyfriend Jamie was telling the story, or Autumn's friend Sasha, or maybe Sylvie telling the story, these are all the people that are in and out of this certain clique. If they were telling the story, then it would be a very different story told. So I was just like trying not to dislike Autumn. I didn't start off disliking her. I grew to dislike her. All right, so I'm going to stop saying that because that is not nice. Towards the end of the book, I'm hoping some maturity has gone on there. I'm not one for playing games. I like to have fun and I like to have a good time, but when it comes to certain things, just say it. Just don't play any games. Don't do that. But that to me is what this book mostly was. It was just a head game. I don't know. So what am I going to give it? If we have 5 stars, I'm going to give it a 4. I'm going to give it a 4 because that ending really sold me, and it really turned my negativity into a positive. So I think like when I glance over at this book in the future, maybe I will go, that was a good book. That was a good book. So I'm just coming out of this book, so maybe I need to let it just linger in my mind a little bit so I can iron certain things out. I don't know. Maybe I need to give forgiveness. I don't know, but this book definitely is a book like something I have never read before. Like I said, I'm not a romance reader, but I am going to read it every now and again. And so I think maybe, is that my hang up? That I don't know how to handle a romance novel? Is that it? Do they make me cringe? Partly, but partly they make me feel youthful and lighthearted and takes me away into another moment in time. Maybe allows me to see just what goes on with these youngins, and remember we were all young once too, or some of us still are. Go you. But anyways, yeah, that's the book that I just finished. So I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I am. It is a beautiful book cover. Beautiful. The storyline is not beautiful, but it's engaging. It kept me coming back, even at those moments where I had had enough of her. I still picked the book up and wanted to find out what was going on. So I'm going to say it's a good book. Okay, so now I'll just tuck that there and let me tell you about the book that I'm working on really quick, and the book I cannot wait to start. Okay, so I don't know what I'm doing with this book. This is The Smell, I'll take this off, The Smell of Other People's Houses, and this is by Bonnie Sue Hitchcock, and I don't know what to make of this book. I mean, did I get too wrapped up in the If He Had Been With Me book and I ignored this? Am I not giving this justice? I don't know. Am I going to DNF it? I don't know. I'm probably going to keep this as the book, on my bedside, and hopefully this is the book I'll pick up to do some reading before bed. But it's not the book that I want to be reading. The book that I want to be reading is this one. Let me tell you who it's by first before I reveal it. As soon as I say this author, you're going to know. Is it Rachel Yoder? And the book is NIghtbitch. Now, I am not carnivorous. I am not. So this big old slab of meat on the cover, it don't do it for me. It really, really doesn't. But you know what? I watched another book reviewer give a review on this book years ago, and I don't know why this one popped in my head, and I said, let me just go get that off the shelf and find out what is a night bitch and what do they do. So I cannot wait to read this one. So that's what I am up to. Comment below. Let me know. What are you reading? Are you enjoying it? Are you DNFing it? What you doing? Oh, no, I need to give you words of wisdom, and I never have that darn book by me to do that. But it's something that I believe in, and it's something that I want to do. So I think I need to run downstairs. All right, so what words of wisdom are we bringing to you today? Your two greatest assets in life, health and time. Invest in your health. It will buy you time. Toodles.